My name is Margaret. I'm 67 years old, a retired math teacher who's taught algebra and geometry for 40 years. My greatest achievement in life is raising Sasha, my daughter, a genius programmer who changed the world. The encryption algorithm she developed at 26 was adopted by Transring Tech, the world's largest tech firm, valued at over $3 billion. But money never mattered to Sasha. What she valued was the freedom of code. The phone call came at 3 in the morning.
Is this Mrs. Margaret? This is a nurse at New York Presbyterian Hospital. Your daughter Sasha has been in a serious car accident. Please come at once.
I rushed to the hospital in a daze. The hallway lights were harshly bright, almost blinding. Adam, Sasha's husband, was already there.
Mom, I'm so sorry.
Sorry for what? Why would he say that? In that moment, I knew something was wrong. This was never just an accident. The operating room light went out. The doctor walked out and pulled down his mask. His lips were moving, but I couldn't hear a word. All I saw was Adam stand up, his shoulders trembling. Then I heard crying, not mine, but Adam's. I didn't cry. I still couldn't wrap my head around it. My daughter, the girl who always checked her tire pressure before driving, waited for the green light to cross the street and slowed down heavily on rainy days. How could she be driving while fatigued? She wasn't fatigued. She was killed. Killed by something or someone. But I had no proof. All I knew was that the car's brake system was ruled an unexpected mechanical failure. It dribbled on the day of the funeral. Adam stood by the gravestone in a black suit, wearing a grief-stricken expression. Next to him stood Victor, the CEO of Transring Tech. The two men shook hands and embraced in front of everyone, like closest allies. No one knew they were already drafting an agreement to transfer Sasha's algorithm to Transreal Tech under the label of work-made invention. Valued at $3 billion, Adam would take the majority share, Victor the rest. As for Sasha, she'd only be left with a name on a tombstone. I watched them whisper in the corner, and Victor pat Adam on the shoulder. That night, I sat in Sashi's bedroom. Adam had taken her laptop, claiming it was company property. Her phone was gone too. Contacts, photos, notes, all vanished without a trace. I tried to call the police, but they said it was a civil dispute and advised me to hire a lawyer. When I sought legal help, the law firm said I needed solid evidence of infringement to take the case. I had no proof, only a mother's instinct. But while sorting through her belongings, I found an old book, A Brief History of Mathematics, my birthday gift to her when she turned 11. On page 135, Sasha had jotted down a string of numbers in pencil. 104, 117, 97, 109, UNT, TTRU, 1E. The pencil marks were faint, as if she'd hidden it on purpose, yet also wanted me to find it. It was tucked along the page edge, almost hidden by the book's binding. If I hadn't flipped to this page and the light hadn't fallen right on that spot, I would never have noticed it. I copied the numbers down on the back of an envelope and carried it with me everywhere. Every night before bed, I'd stare at the sequence. I knew it wasn't random code. Sasha had been obsessed with cryptography since grade school. By 10, she could crack the library's LibCard encryption system. She left a message. All I had to do was find the key to decode it. But I was a math teacher, not a hacker, and already 67 years old. I made up my mind to learn how to read my daughter's final message. Not for revenge, but to prove one thing. My daughter never lost to fatigue driving, and she never lost to anyone at all. I needed a lawyer, so I turned to an old friend, Henry, a retired judge. We'd known each other for over 20 years. When Sasha was little, she joined the math competition training class he ran. He lived in an old house in Queens, his study crammed with legal books and case files. After I finished telling him everything, he took off his glasses and polished the lenses.
Margaret, I believe every word you've said, but the court won't. Judges need hard evidence, not a mother's gut feeling. You need to learn how to code.
I recalled the conversation I had with my daughter when she was little years ago. She said, "Mom, math is so hard. I don't want to learn it anymore." I told her, "Then don't learn it, but you have to know that the hardest thing in the world is not math, but giving up." With this thought, my eyes turned resolute, and I turned to Henry. "Teach me where to start." I signed up for an online beginner coding course, starting completely from scratch. My classmates were all around 20 on average. When they saw a white-haired me join the video class, they thought I was someone's grandma sitting in. On the first lesson, the instructor taught us the classic Hello World program.
I typed print Hello World on my keyboard, hit enter, and the words popped up on the screen. I stared at those words, my eyes growing misty. It wasn't sentimentality. I suddenly realized coding and math share the very same core. Both are systems of symbols, built entirely on logic. And logic was what I taught my whole career. I started studying 8 hours a day, up at 4 a.m., staying up till midnight. I'd run lines of code through my mind while cooking, hold textbooks in my hand even in restrooms, and work through practice problems right before sleep. My neighbors asked if I'd lost my mind. My daughter practiced the piano 6 hours a day starting at age 5, rain or shine. I was just making up for lost time, repaying the years I hadn't learned coding sooner.
hadn't deciphered those numbers for her.
By the first month, I'd mastered variables, loops, and functions. By the second month, I grasped object-oriented programming, data structures, and recursion. By the third month, I could code in Python and JavaScript Shift and finished reading Introduction to Encryption Algorithms. Sasha wasn't born a genius. She became one through relentless practice. And so would I.
I finally cracked the code hidden in those numbers. 141hu Nio Naomi Ulil 622 Each number matched a character in the ASF code table. I stayed up the whole night, and at 3 a.m. the answer revealed itself. Translated into plain English, it read, Sam is true. Sam was Sasha's childhood nickname. She'd left me a hidden message. I am the real one. But what did true mean exactly? She was confirming that she was the true creator of the algorithm. She feared others would accuse her of pleaserism, of lying, of stealing the code. That's why she hid this message inside the book. She'd been waiting for me to find it.
I spent 3 days piecing together Sasha's full plan. While building her algorithm, she'd registered a digital fingerprint, a hash value, on the blockchain at the same time. A hash value is a unique, unalterable string of characters, just like a human fingerprint. Anyone who tampered with the code would automatically change the hash value.
And Sasha's hash was encrypted and hidden inside that meaningless-looking number sequence. Only her own mother would use a birthday as the decryption key. Only her own mother would remember that old book. Only her own mother would learn coding just for her. She'd seen this day coming long ago. She'd been waiting for me all along. I dialed Henry's number. Henry, I need you to help me gather evidence. I'm suing Adam and Transreal Tech. There was a long silence on the line.
Margaret, are you absolutely sure about this?
I told him the secret behind the numbers, explained the blockchain Timestein, and proved Sasha's algorithm existed long before Transring Tech claimed to invent it. After listening, he simply said,
I'll draft the lawsuit paperwork.
Once the news broke, media outlets went into a frenzy. Headlines read, 67-year-old retired teacher sues tech giant. Reporters swarmed outside my door, shoving microphones in my face, firing non-stop questions. I didn't say a word. Not out of fear, just because the time wasn't right.
Adam called me, his voice cold and sharp.
Mom, what are you doing?
Would Sasha have wanted you to do this?
Sasha would have wanted me to give her code
Back to the open source community, not line your pockets with it. I closed the door, turned back into the living room and sat down.
A farce orchestrated by a grieving mother who was manipulated. He said they would set
Hearing those words, I turned off the TV. Fine then, see you in court. The case entered the evidence discovery phase. My legal team only had 3 people, myself, Henry, and Kevin, a fresh law school graduate working as an intern. The first time he met me, he was so nervous he could barely speak clearly. Relax, this is my first time being a plaintiff too. The opposing legal team had over 20 top-class intellectual property lawyers, an elderly woman with nothing but an online coding course and an old laptop, going up against a $3 billion tech giant. Everyone thought I'd lost my mind, but I knew I hadn't. I had the number sequence Sasha left behind.
Mrs. Margaret, you claim that your daughter registered a hash value on the blockchain. How can you prove it truly belongs to her?
They aimed to break me right then and there.
I opened my laptop and connected it to the courtroom's big screen. Your Honor, I'd like to play a video. My daughter Sasha recorded this before she passed away. The courtroom fell dead silent. Sasha's face appeared on the screen. She sat at her desk, hair tied in a ponytail, wearing a gray hoodie. She gave the camera a faint, gentle smile. She said,
Mom, if you're watching this, it means I'm no longer here. I'm so sorry for making you grieve. But I know you're the strongest woman I've ever known.
I left a piece of code embedded inside my encryption algorithm. The first line of that code is my digital signature, encrypted with your birthday as the key.
She took a soft breath, went on to say,
Mom, verify it. Let the whole world know this algorithm is mine. Just like you always said, math never lies, and neither does code.
The video finished playing. I stood up and walked to the center of the courtroom. Your Honor, I will now demonstrate the verification process. Step 1. Extract the code snippet Sasha mentioned in the video and retrieve the corresponding hash value from the blockchain. Step 2. Decuck the file using my birthday as the key to retrieve Sasha's digital signature.
Step 3. Compare this signature with the official standard template. I logged onto a blockchain explorer via the courtroom computer, entered the hash, and a record popped up. The time was 30 days before Sasha's death. The opposing lawyers tried to raise objections, but every argument was overruled one by one.
Does the defense have any response? And requested a recess.
I'd won the first round, but the hardest battle was still ahead. During the recess, the opposing legal team sent someone to offer a settlement. Adam came to persuade me. He stood before me in a crumpled shirt, sunken eyes worn out. He didn't look like a man about to become a billionaire, more like a gambler drowning in debt.
Mom, let's talk. What do you even gain by winning the case? Sasha's never coming back.
I stared straight into his eyes, the same eyes Sasha once loved deeply.
I can offer you a large sum of money. Just sign the papers and this whole thing ends.
Adam, did you marry Sasha because you loved her, or because you loved the fortune she would one day make?
He avoided my gaze. Please leave.
I opened the door. He walked out. As the door closed behind him, I heard him say,
Mom, I'm sorry.
I didn't reply. It wasn't that I couldn't forgive him. It was that his apology meant nothing anymore. His sorry could never bring Sasha back. The trial resumed. The opposing lawyers switched tactics. They no longer denied the hash's authenticity. Instead, they claimed Sasha's algorithm was a work-made invention. They argued Sasha used TransRing Tech servers, data, and resources while developing the algorithm. The company owned all rights to it.
Your Honor, according to the evidence we've submitted, Sasha only used her personal laptop and private server during the algorithm's development. TransRing Tech never paid a single cent towards the creation of this algorithm. Furthermore, Sasha open-sourced the algorithm on GitHub long before she even joined TransRing Tech.
The opposing lawyer tried to argue back, but Henry proved the documents they presented had forged dates via notarized records. I stood up once more at the plaintiff's bench. Your Honor, I'd like to play an audio recording left by Sasha. She recorded this in the early stages of building her algorithm. It's stored in her cloud drive, with a variable timestamp as well.
The audio began to play. Sasha's young voice filled the courtroom, bright yet exhausted. Today is day 47. I've finally gotten the core framework of the algorithm up and running. I'm recording this now not for money, but because this algorithm can encrypt data, protect privacy, and help people victimized by data abuse.
The audio ended. Soft sniffles echoed around the courtroom. That was Sasha's original intention. It became her greatest legacy. She wrote code not for wealth, but for freedom. The night before the final verdict, I couldn't sleep a whisk. I sat in Sasha's bedroom, with a brief history of mathematics still sitting on her desk. I turned to page 135. The number sequence was still there, the pencil marks faded and faint. I traced over the numbers carefully with a fountain pen. It was my daughter's final line of poetry left for the world. I wasn't just scribbling, I was preserving her last wish. I finally fell asleep at 4 a.m. I dreamed of little Sasha winning first place at a math competition. She held up the trophy and smiled at me. She said, "Mom, look how amazing I am." I woke up, my sleeves soaked through. Today is the court hearing day, and I will seek justice for her. I pulled myself together, determined to get justice for my daughter. Once court was in session, the judge read out the final ruling.
The court rules that the encryption algorithm developed by Sasha is her independent personal creation and shall not be classified as a work-made invention. Defendants Adam and TransRock Tech have no right to possess the algorithm. The algorithm shall be returned to the open source community. Defendants shall pay plaintiff Margaret a total of approximately 5 million RMB in compensation for emotional stress and all legal costs.
The judge ordered everyone to stand, and the jury returned a unanimous verdict. I finally broke down and cried. Not for the money, but because Sasha's name was finally cleared and restored to its rightful place. I walked out of the courthouse under a clear blue sky.
Margaret, you won.
I didn't win. Sasha won. She planned for all of this long ago. Reporters swarmed over and asked,
"What will you do with the compensation money?"
I looked at young reporters at cameras. Vardy. His eyes sparkled with a light, the light of believing in justice. I will use this money to set up a foundation named after Sasha. It will help young girls who want to learn coding. They should never give up on their dreams just for lack of money, resources, or support. Sasha may be gone, but her code lives on, and so does her spirit. That night, the news spread everywhere. Headlines read, 67-year-old mother wins justice for daughter, and the legacy of the Code Queen. Adam chose not to appeal. He knew he would only lose again. Victor resigned as CEO of TransRing Tech, citing personal reasons. It was just an excuse. The truth was the board blamed him for mishandling the case and ruining the company's reputation. I felt no hatred for them, nor did I forgive them. I simply published Sasha's algorithm to the open source community as she'd wanted. Preparing the foundation was a tedious process. Registration, finding a location, recruiting staff, drafting bylaws. I didn't know anything about it, but I had an amazing team behind me. Henry handled all legal matters, and his law intern Kevin decided to stay on as administrative director. Several volunteers also reached out to me after seeing the news online. One of them was Emily, 24, a computer science master's graduate working as a programmer at Amazon. She told me she decided to learn coding as a kid after reading Sasha's open source code on GitHub.
Mrs. Margaret, Sasha is my role model. I want to do something to honor her.
I brought her on board as the foundation's first project director. We named the organization the Sasha Foundation, with the motto Code Without Boundaries. Our goal was to sponsor 100 young girls to learn coding every year. On interview day, I met dozens of young girls. Some were high school students, some college undergrads, others already working and hoping to switch careers. Their eyes all shone bright, just like Sasha's. All those years ago, one girl left a deep impression on me. Her name was Xiaomin, 18 years old, from a small county town. Her parents were factory workers, and she didn't even own a computer at home. She copied lines of code by hand, writing every character from textbooks into notebooks, then practiced on school computer lab equipment. She pulled out a thick notebook and flipped it open for me to see. Every page was filled with neat code lines and detailed notes. "Why do you want to learn coding?" She looked me in the eyes and said,
"Because I want to change the world. Not the whole world, just myself. I don't want to be trapped in this small town my whole life."
You're in. You've been accepted. Half a year later, the Sasha Foundation made headlines again. Not for donations, because one of our first batch of students landed in an internship at a top tech firm. Xiaomin, the girl who copied code by hand, was accepted as a software engineering intern at Google. Her voice trembled over the phone when she, "No need to thank me. This is all your own hard work."
Without you, I'd never even have gotten an interview. You made me realize female programmers can change the world too.
After hanging up, I sat on the sofa staring at Sasha's photo. Her eyes were still bright in the picture. Up in heaven, I know you're seeing this too. Watching your code change young girls' lives for the better. The following year, Transring Tech stock crashed amid a massive data leakage scandal. The breach happened because they relied on flawed, insecure encryption algorithms, not Sasha's original one. After Sasha's death, their tech team to build a replacement algorithm on their own, but it was far inferior to hers and easily hacked. Data from tens of millions of users was stolen. The company paid massive fines and lost all public credibility. Victor posted a statement on social media, admitting the deal he made with Sasha's husband had serious flaws, but refused to elaborate further. Adam vanished without a trace. No one knew where he'd gone. Reporters interviewed me for my thoughts on the whole ordeal. They chose money over Sasha's integrity and her algorithm. Now they've lost far more than they ever gained. One day I received an email. It was from Adam, sent from prison. He'd been sentenced to 3 years in prison for fraud linked to Transring Tech scheme. I'm the one who owed her. Please live well for both of us. I never replied. He didn't need my forgiveness. He needed to reflect on his own mistakes. Emily told me Sasha's algorithm was now used by millions of developers worldwide. It was everywhere. Finance, healthcare, telecommunications, data security. Sasha never lived to see this day, but this moment belongs entirely to her. For the Foundation's second batch of students, Xiaomin came back as a part-time tutor to teach classes. She'd just landed a full-time job offer in Silicon Valley, yet chose to come back home first and volunteer with the Foundation.
Grandma Margaret, the math and courage you taught me, I want to pass that on to other girls too. Did you know Grandma Margaret didn't start learning coding until she was over 60? In just 3 months, she won the lawsuit and took back Sasha's algorithm.
You think I'm clever? I'm not. I just missed my daughter more than anything in the world. When you miss someone deeply enough, you can learn absolutely anything. The Sasha Foundation set up 10 branch centers across the country, sponsoring over 2,000 girls to learn coding. Our graduates landed jobs at top tech firms, launched their own startups, or pursued advanced studies. The greatest gift we ever received was a simple thank you letter. It was from Xiaomin. She wrote that she was now working as an engineer in Silicon Valley, and every weekend she ran free coding classes with friends to teach local young girls. Grandma Margaret, I've passed on everything you taught me to more people. Sasha's spirit never died. It lives on in all our lines of code. That day I sat by the window, sunlight streaming through the glass and falling on a brief history of mathematics. I read the title. It still read, For Mom. What she left me wasn't just an inheritance, it was a battle to fight and a legacy to protect. The Sasha Foundation was invited to the UNESCO Women in Tech Awards ceremony. I took the stage as the Foundation's representative to accept the award, facing an audience of global tech leaders, politicians, and journalists. I wore the dark blue chengguang Sasha always loved, hair neatly combed.
What would you like to say to Sasha?
Sasha, Mom did it. I kept my promise. On the flight home, I dreamed of Sasha. She sat right beside me, holding that same copy of A Brief History of Mathematics. She flipped to page 135 and pointed at the number sequence.
Mom, you're so amazing. You cracked my code.
I looked at her, her smile just as bright as it was when she was alive. Sasha, I'm not amazing at all. I just love you more than anything. I woke up as the plane began to land. With thousands of twinkling lights, and below was the 15th day and of the round Fulinen month. One day I received a package. No sender name, no return address, only one line written on it. For Sasha's mom. I opened it to find a hand-knitted dark blue scarf, the exact shade Sasha loved as a little girl. A note was attached. Miss Margaret, I'm one of the Foundation's first batch of students. My name is Wang Xiao, at Nidao, and I now work as a programmer at Beauty at Byte Coding. I wrapped the scarf around my neck, warm and comforting. Wang Xiao didn't know it, but I'd knitted a sweater just like this for Sasha when she was little. Now my daughter has grown up, and another young girl has knitted warmth for me instead. The Sasha Foundation's 10th anniversary celebration was held in a grand auditorium. The venue was packed. Students, volunteers, and old media friends all came. Xiaomin flew all the way back from Silicon Valley to give a speech on stage.
10 years ago, I didn't even own a computer. 10 years later, I'm using code to change the world. But it wasn't code that changed me. It was Grandma Margaret.
The audience applause went on and on. I sat in the front row, choosing not to go up on stage. There was no need. Everything I needed to say had already been said. When I got home that night, I turned on my laptop and logged into Sasha's GitHub account. Her profile signature still read, "Code is poetry." I'd set her password long ago, a mix of her birthday and mine, alternating back and forth. I updated her profile picture with an old colored photo of her. In the photo, she wore her graduation gown holding her diploma, smiling sweetly. I left new line in her profile notes. Sasha, your poetry is still being written. Xiaomin was getting married, and she invited me to her wedding in Silicon Valley. Didn't hesitate for a second. I booked a flight and traveled over 10 hours to be there. The wedding was held in a small, quiet church. Simple and heartfelt. The bride wore a white wedding gown, and the groom was also a programmer, quiet, beskyckled, and shy. Xiaomin handed me her wedding bouquet.
Grandma Margaret, this bouquet is for you. You're the most important family I've
I
ever
took
had.
the bouquet, my eyes welling up with tears. After the wedding, I walked along the streets of Silicon Valley, gazing at all the tech company logos, my heart calm and at peace. Sasha, you once dreamed of being here too. Now your code has made it here for you. The total number of girls by the Sasha Foundation surpassed 5,000. Emily sent me an email saying they were building an online education platform named Sam Labs. The platform logo was a minimalist silhouette of Sasha's profile, simple yet full of strength. The platform brought together young female coders from all over the world to watch tutorials, submit assignments, support one another, and share code. They often mentioned Sasha in the forum posts, all expressing their gratitude, thanking her for her algorithm, and thanking me for carrying on her legacy, and thanking code itself for letting their dreams take flight. One day, while sorting through Sasha's old belongings, I found a USB flash drive. I plugged it into my laptop, and there was only one file inside, a short audio clip. Sasha's voice was soft and quiet in the recording, almost like she was talking to herself. If one day I'm no longer here, please give this recording to my mom. Mom, I love you. Thank you for making me learn math. Thank you for letting me become a programmer. Thank you for always being my strongest support. I listened to it over and over again, then set it as my phone's ringtone. Every time my phone rings, I get to hear her say, Mom, I love you. In that small way, she's still right here with me.
Mom, I love you.
Time flies so fast. It's hard to believe so many years have passed since Sasha left us. I still live in our old house, with a brief history of mathematics still sitting on my desk. The number sequence is still on page 35, the pencil marks faded thin. I've thought about tracing it again with my pen, but I'm afraid I'll ruin it, so I leave it just as it is. It's Sasha's handwriting, and I wouldn't dare alter it. But every time a young girl writes to me, telling me, Grandma Margaret, I got accepted, Grandma Margaret, I landed the job offer, Grandma Margaret, I'm getting married, I feel young all over again. As long as my heart stays young, I'll never grow old. The Sasha Foundation's online education platform surpassed 1 million users. Women from over 180 countries and regions are using the platform to learn coding, math, and Sasha's encryption algorithms. They're using code to change their lives and to change the world. A mainstream media article once wrote, one mother etched her daughter's name into the world with lines of code. I came home one evening and sat by the window, bright moonlight streaming inside the room. I picked up my phone and logged onto the Sasha Foundation official website. The homepage featured a clip of me from the courtroom, with millions of views. This isn't just a mother defending her daughter, it's mathematics defending the truth. I smiled softly, opened a brief history of mathematics, and turned to page 135. The numbers were still there. I gently ran my fingers over the faint pencil marks, almost too faint to see. My daughter. She never lost to anyone at all. Those who tried to buy her legacy for $3 billion ended up losing everything they had. And her code? It's become the strongest fortress the world has ever known. I closed the book and walked out onto the balcony. One star in the sky shone far brighter than all the rest. I know she's watching, and she sees everything. My name is Margaret. The proudest thing in my life isn't winning the lawsuit nor founding the foundation. It's being Sasha's mother. This story may have reached its end, but the code never will. Sasha's algorithm still runs worldwide. The foundation still grows strong, and young girls keep learning to code every day. They are Sasha's legacy, living on. I'll live well, and live the rest of my days for you too. The star outside my window glows bright, just like the night she ran home smiling at 20, eyes sparkling as she said, Mom, my code can protect the whole world now. I turned off my desk lamp and took one last look at a brief history of mathematics. In the darkness, I can no longer see the numbers clearly, but I know they're still there. They're no longer just a cipher, they're a promise. Not just an inheritance, but endless, eternal love. Late autumn afternoon. Sunlight streams through the foundation's floor's nest windows, falling on the bookshelf. I sit at desk, reviewing the students' latest coding projects. Xiaomin sends a video, algorithms in her Silicon Valley office.
Shows and Sasha's code protects global data.
I nod. Code never dies, the original heart remains. Early winter morning, crisp chill, maple leaves in the foundation yard turn deep red. The new batch of students arrives, eyes full of hope. I stand at the door to greet them, remembering myself years ago. 67, learning code from scratch, now guarding countless dreams. Education has no age, passion is never too late. Winter afternoon, the foundation meeting room is warm. I plan next year's projects with the team, adding rural coding classes.
Sasha would definitely support this.
Let rural girls access code and see a bigger world. Year-end evening, dusk deepens, foundation lights turn on. Students hand-deliver handmade cards, handwriting young and sincere. Every card reads, Thank you, Grandma Margaret. Thank you, Sister Sasha. I read them one by one, eyes warm. Giving is never one-sided. Love always flows both ways. New Year morning, bright sun, snow still on the yard. I opened Sasha's old notebook, neat handwriting. She wrote, Code is freedom, equality, never giving up. I read softly, as if she's right beside me. New year, Keep guarding this freedom. Early spring afternoon, gentle wind, warm sun, new nuds on branches. I visit the rural coding class. Kids gather around. They hold old tablets, typing code earnestly. Eyes bright, just like Sasha back then. Education's meaning is lighting tiny lights. Mid-spring afternoon, floral scent fills the air, foundation yard blooms. Xiaomin returns, sharing Silicon Valley stories with students. Students listen closely, eyes full of longing. Legacy is the best remembrance.
Sasha's spirit never left.
Early summer morning, bright sun, lush greenery. I organize Sasha's code documents, neat handwriting. Every line of code is love and perseverance. I whisper, Sasha, everything is well. Wind brushes by, as if she answers softly. Midsummer afternoon, cicadas chirp, foundation growth quiet, some student growth quiet. Some get into top universities, some build successful startups. They say code changed their lives. I smile. Sasha's wish is fulfilled. Late summer evening, cool breeze, brilliant sunset. I sit on the balcony, reviewing old trial records. Those hard times have become strength. I'm not an avenger, just a mother, guarding my daughter's heart, always Drew. Early autumn morning, light mist, fresh air. Foundation welcomes international exchange students, diverse faces. They write code together, share ideas. Code has no borders, love no race. Sasha's dream comes true. Late autumn afternoon, warm sun, golden leaves. I receive a letter from Adam, old handwriting. He writes, he reflects in prison, lifelong guilt. I reply, let go of guilt. Live well. Forgiveness isn't pardon, it's freeing oneself. Early donor evening, Renyong Gansijan Sibishan to win mine chinesing. From nothing to blooming Drewer. From Lucius Sim scratch double shomuters mungthang. She win speaks not, yet answers all. Deep winter morning, heavy snow, white world. I sit by the window, make hot tea. I look at Sasha's childhood photos, bright smiles. She never left, always in code. Love lives in code, in time. Year-end afternoon, sun breaks through clouds, bright and warm. Foundation prepares for the 10th anniversary, everyone busy. I stand in the yard, watching people come and go. 10 years of storms, persistence blooming. Ordinary persistence holds great power. Anniversary Eve, bright stars, brilliant lights. I open a brief history of Mathnics, page 135. The numbers remain, the heart remains. Sasha, look, your world blooms brightly. Code never dies, love never fades. Anniversary day, perfect sun, guests gather. I stand on stage, tell 10 years story. From loss to rebirth, despair to hope. I say code is poetry, love eternal. Warm, steady applause fills the room. One afternoon in the lobby of the foundation, when a line of untriggered code suddenly lights up the big screen, format, comments, key features, all in Sasha's unique style.
This is the ultimate protocol Sasha sealed before her death.
My fingertips hover over the screen. Heartbeat deafening. Code scrolls slowly. Mom, the truth isn't over yet. The room falls silent. Wind passes through like a soft call. We crack through the night, tracing to a server offline for 10 years. Kevin pulls up low-level logs. Someone wakes it regularly. I enter the password, Sasha's favorite number 7 plus my birthday. The folded name stings my eyes. Unpublished trial evidence. Only half was presented in court. The other half was forcibly concealed. I take a deep breath and click the first file. The video shakes. It's Sasha's last selfie before her death.
Mom, if you see this, it means they won once. But I left a back door to find who's really in control. Adam was just a pawn. The real culprit is at the top of the industry. I split the evidence into 3 pieces, hidden in 3 nodes worldwide.
The video cuts off abruptly. We all freeze. Xiaomin heads to Silicon Valley for the first piece. Kevin traveled source to Europe. The second piece, Fun Flow Records. I stay at headquarters, guarding the core key and student safety. That night, the Foundation comes under intense cyber attacks. The opponent's tactics are ruthless, clearly trying to destroy everything. We know, we've hit the core of the truth. Xiaomin finds the hard drive in the old Silicon Valley lab, only to be followed. She hides in the server room, locks the entrance with temporary code, and transmits the file urgently.
Open the door!
You'll never understand the justice of code. When the opponent breaks in, the first evidence confirms Sasha's technology was maliciously stolen.
Dig further, and all of you will pay with it.
Kevin finds the second piece of evidence in the European archives. Documents show huge funds flow to anonymous tech consortium. This consortium repeatedly pressured the court and retorted evidence. Kevin, just before backup, the entire archive city loses power, all communications cut off. We lose contact with Kevin for 12 hours. I sit before the monitor without water, clutching Sasha's notes. Code won't be silent. Truth won't disappear. Kevin safely returns the evidence. He saved the data with an offline hard drive. Combined, the 2 pieces point to the same person. I stare at the name, cold all over. The tech tycoon who publicly sympathized with us but secretly controlled everything. At that moment, abnormal access appears in the Foundation's internal system. There's a traitor among us. I quietly set a coma trap. The traitor is exposed on the stunt. It's an emitter with long-term access to Herson files.
Threatened by the consortium, her family is in their hands.
Abu blame her. Instead, I activate protection procedures. The Jin evil is blackming conscience with Chia.
The location of the third evidence pops up.
In this city, right beside us. We follow the clues to an old building. The top floor is Sasha's secret studio. Third evidence, an encrypted laptop and a voice recorder. The recording contains the consortium leader's exact words.
Sasha must disappear. Data hegemony belongs only to us.
The laptop holds the full crime chain. Money laundering, monopoly murder planning. All 3 pieces collected. The evidence is conclusive. The door is suddenly pushed open. A dark figure stands in the doorway. The consortium leader appears. Bodyguards behind him.
Old woman, you think code can fight capital?
I hold up the laptop. Today, code is evidence. Xiaomin and global students launch a worldwide live broadcast at the same time. All evidence are released simultaneously. The internet erupts. Police break in and arrest him on the downtop. Sunlight shines into the old studio, falling on Sasha's photo. In the final trial, the mastermind is severely punished. Sasha's reputation is fully restored. Her technology is returned to public beauty. More girls worldwide escape difficulties through code. I gens and the beauty yard fin gently blowing. Sasha new coded with coda, about your eye me. The news of the leader's arrest sweeps the globe. But the Foundation dares not let its guard down. I double-check the 3 pieces of evidence and find a piece of hidden overwrite code. Sasha's voice sounds in the bottom layer.
They still have a number 2 agent, hidden in the safest place.
The city's alarm blares. The police car escorting the leader is ambushed in a tunnel. All suspects are silenced, and the leader vanishes into thin air. Interpol issues a red notice, but the dark web places a sky-high bounty. D-Dation students receive threat emails. Some begin to wavy and retreat. Kevin screens global IPs and locks onto a repeatedly intruding mysterious address. My pupils constrict. It's the private server of Sasha's most trusted mentor before her death. He once stood up for her and defended her, but now he's destroying the last traces. We visit overnight. The mentor's villa is empty. The study computer turns on automatically, playing Sasha's graduation video.
I trained her to control the future. She refused to submit, so I had to destroy her with my own hands.
He is the real mastermind. The consortium leader was just his shield. The screen explodes with fireworks. The hard drive is instantly formulated. I'll make him know code can create gods, and kill them too. The mentor flees to an uninhabited island, cutting all digital traces, vanishing without a trace. I issue a global call. All programmers helped by Sasha. Return to position. Overnight, 100,000 lines of justice code gather in the cloud. Silla Valley, Berlin. Girls turn on their computers, forming a distributed tracking network. He can hide in darkness, but cannot escape the eyes of code worldwide. Kevin stares at the data stream.
He thinks he escaped, but he's walked into our cage.
The uninhabited island has weak signals, but still traces of satellite network. Xiaomin writes a ghost program, disguising as a supply satellite to access his devices.
You taught her to write code, but not how to grow justice.
Heyunders that slip is unshowed whole, scratch wood under hey coinet loun. Then pantenju, nikum bjors, whole men tungshu, tran those two stemming chance. With emotai sausumlation, you never avo had, or a sword barrier. Trapped on the island, the mentor has singed breakdown, confess all his beauty. He manipulated academics, monopolist technology, staged accidents, riblid fatting, soyo zilu, sapine, and ventures though to make jondren, hanya shaken, dozens thruns pillen and dibel, hey digwer collapses completely. A helicopter lands on the island. Interpol handcuffs him. He looks at the camera for the last time. Code has finally defeated capital. Sasha's injustice is completely cleared. The country posthumously awards her the highest technical honor. Her algorithm in the puparade into Sisanquangsher, Balhu Trencho Data Eng. The foundation is renamed Sasha Code Justice Academy, free to girls worldwide. The moment the registration system opens, millions of appliques flood in worldwide, crashing the server several times. Xiaomin stands on the podium. She didn't leave. She lives in every line of Just Code. I walk into Sasha's secret studio. Everything remains as she left it. The laptop on the desk lights up automatically, jumping out with a new line of code. The sunset sets outside the window. Countless lines of code flow over the city like starlight. That's the tenderness she left the world, and our never-extinguished faith. New students write their first line of code in the foundation yard. The screen lights up with a unified sentence. Code never dies, justice never absent, love never ends. I stand behind the crowd and see Sasha's smile shining in the light. She lit the fire with her life. We keep the flame eternal with love. The first morning sun spreads over the academy playground. New students' code connects into a starry sea on the screen. Xiaomin launches simultaneous classes, global brands, different languages speaking the same oath. I caress Sasha's medal. The medal is cool but burns into my heart. The Guoji cybersecurity agent sends an urgent letter. Old case data shows abnormal movements. Kevin traced the source and finds a string of dark web accounts dormant for 10 years reawakening. These accounts are all the Remilzan Empire, not a black empire. I stare at the screen, fingers pausing. Shadows still linger. The ultimate firewall left by Sasha sounds a red alert for the first time. The Academy's core server suffers targeted infiltration. The target is Stu privacy and public welfare algorithms. Xiaomin deploys defense overnight. Global students form a volunteer protection group, build Defimbalist line font. I sit in the command center. Mamia's struction is steady rock. Evil always wants to steal light, but we have long learned to guard light with code. The alert fades. The line holds. We keep Sasha's trust. While sorting old items in the attic, I find an unsent letter from Sasha. It reads, "Mom, I'm not afraid of the dark." She had foreseen all dangers, yet still chose rush towards justice. I put the letter in my pocket, like holding her warm hand.